This is your Kapil sir, PGT English ACS number 4 Rawalpata. And today is going to be the first lecture during the time of COVID-19, and as to how you can be in touch with your studies of English. Well, you have got two books. One is Flamingo, another one is Vistas. What is my observation of your last 11th standard answer scripts is you are still making mistakes in the area called grammar, and it is very crucial. I don't want you people lose any marks because of this, and it is very suitable time, very congenial, as all of you have got a lot of time there at home, and therefore I came today with some grammar studies, and it is going to be tenses today. Well, what I have noticed is very commonly there is a misunderstanding about some three tenses. One is the simple present tense, another one the simple present continuous tense, and another important one is the simple past tense. Now let us see what happens, what you do, and what is to be done about it. Well, this small chart I am preparing here for you, that will be very handy and very useful for you. Simple present tense, then simple present continuous tense, and one is simple past tense. Whenever we talk about tenses, so our first attention, just like Arjun, must go to the form of the verb which is used there in the sentence. Like whenever we discuss simple present tense, let us see the verb must have its first form. Whenever we are talking about simple past tense, the verb should have its second form. Now when we come about or talk about simple present continuous tense, it is helping verb. For example, am, is, are, and first form of the verb which takes ing. Now, why should we know there is difference or distinction in the meaning when do we use these tenses? Very commonly misunderstood understanding is between simple present tense and a simple past tense. See, in Hindi, as we say, anything which happens every day, regularly, or at a regular interval, we say karta hai, karti hai, or karte hai. I just write down the short form of this in Hindi. Ta for masculine gender, karti for feminine gender, and for more than one, karte hai. So anything that falls in this category, for example, हम सुबह उठते हैं, फ्रेश होते हैं, ब्रेकफास्ट करते हैं, फिर खेलने जाते हैं, फिर टीवी देखते हैं, हम पढ़ाई करते हैं. All these things are the actions which do take place either every day or regularly, and therefore the form of the verb should be used here is only the pure first form. Now one change comes, and that is where you people have been making mistakes. And what that change is, if your subject is either he, she, it, or any one name, you should be careful that the first form of verb will take s or es to it. For example, if your verb is go and you are using it with any of these subjects like he, so it will be, your sentence should be like he goes. If it is with she, she goes. If it is with it, it goes. And with any name like Ravi goes, Anil goes, Pramila goes, Swarit goes, Mrinali goes. immediate confusion now. You have got more than one name, Swarit and Mrinali. Then whether it should be go or goes. See, the subject is more than one. So it cannot be it cannot take S or ES. It should be only Swarit and Mrinali go. Because your subject is not one now, it is more than one. These are technically called the third person singular number. Now, when it comes for present continuous tense, the same thing will have a bit of difference. There will be some helping verb. Even with these subjects also, there will be some helping verb like he is going. If it is more than one, they are going. If it is first person singular number, I am going. Now, what difference actually we should understand is, when it is simple present tense, we say he goes and goes to school. This means वो स्कूल रोज जाता है या हमेशा जाता है. But when we say he is going to school, that means at the time of speaking he is doing that action. For example, your son is now moving towards school. So you can say my son is going to school. At this point of talking, your younger brother or sister is watching TV. So you cannot say my brother or my sister watches TV. You have to say my brother or sister is watching TV. Now, this difference is very, very crucial for us, because when we get questions, especially when the questions are there in the simple present tense, for example, what does the poet say? What does the poet say about it? And now you are going to give the answer to this question. You should not make mistake first of the choice of tense. This does helps us understand it is in the simple present tense. So you cannot switch over to simple past tense. You cannot say the poet said. And if you are saying something like this, the poet is saying, that is also not very much relevant, because your question is not in the present continuous. Therefore, what should be done? This is indicative helping verb for you. It is in the simple present tense. So your answer should begin like the poet says. Here is the most important criterion. Now, you have got some 20 such questions wherein simple present tense is used, and your answer goes now either in the simple past tense or in the present continuous tense. It becomes immediately irrelevant. Therefore, be very careful. Suppose the text says, what does the narrator write about? So you will have to answer if the narrator writes, or the narrator describes, the narrator narrates, the narrator helps us understand. Like this should be your presentation. If your first, or in some questions you make mistake in tenses, you are not going to get out of marks. Even if the question is for 2 marks, and even a single mistake is noticed by the evaluator, this means you are not going to get 2 out of 2, because the evaluator is not going to read out every question of every sentence of yours. And so by reading 1 or 2 of your sentences, he will come to a conclusion that this fellow is not very much familiar with tenses. So language area is quite loose. Don't make mistakes there. Now, coming on to the simple past tense. Here we need the second form of verb. So the moment we use, like go is here is used in simple present tense. In present continuous tense, it becomes going. And once we use the second form, that is of verb, so go will become went. Some people are in the habit of understanding that with anything like tha, for that you need, helping verbs like was or were, but it is not required in active voice. When you already have a helping verb, main verb, it does two things. Past tense, it is the second form of the verb which is more important. Now some students have the approach that for every hai or for every tha in the mother tongue, they find a substitute, whether it should be am, is, or it should be was, were. Please remember, most important thing, in the simple present tense, if you have verb, first form of the verb, it is capable of telling you two things. One, action, another one, tense. Similarly, in simple past tense, if you have verb, it is in the second form, that automatically tells us it is in the past tense. So, your verb does two works. One is to tell you the action, and the second one to tell you the tense. Now, we get many questions there in the exam, wherein we have got the helping verb used, which is did. Like here, what did the poet say about it? Sometimes the question or the passage is in the simple present tense, or the direct conversation is there, that is direct speech. That is generally in the simple present tense. Now, your question demands that you must give the answer in the simple past tense. Therefore, here your answer should be the poet said, because said is the second form of verb. And this, if you all understand what does a verb do, the work there, whenever we are dealing with any sentence, I think you are not going to make any mistake. The first form of the verb tells us simple present tense. With simple present tense, these things you must remember. If it is an subject like he, she, it, or anyone name is there, the verb takes s or e, able to give answers to your question. And once we meet, face to face, more problems can be solved. I can help you understand some other issues related to all these things. Thank you so much.